Hello everyone. In this session we will begin to sculpt our first sculpture. It will be simple, flat, floral relief. In my case it will be orchid. We will learn simple basic techniques. We will see how to use our tools. We need a bucket of hot water with plasticine. We need wire tools, we need wooden tools. I always use a needle, and you need a knife. On a wooden board, we will apply layer by layer our warm plasticine and build our relief. Relief will be 9 by 9 centimeters and 1 centimeter thick. Let's begin. We need to prepare our materials. So we have tools lying here. Knife, it's always good. We will be cutting plasticine, sculpting with this wooden ceramic tool, sculpting tool, and this wire tools. I prefer to have always a needle, but it's already personal choice. We're preparing plasticine by sucking it into a very hot water, because it's a sculpting plasticine. It's hard as a stone if it's cold, but as soon as it's warmed up, it's very nice and soft. So sculpting, why we're using sculpting plasticine? Because as soon as our sculpture is cold, we are not afraid to damage anything, because it's really hard. So let's start with this. So far 3 kilos. So I'm adding really hot water from a kettle. As I mentioned before, the size of our first piece will be 9 to 9 centimeters. So 9 by 9. This size gives us a solution to use it later in our domestic use. Normally I use gloves just for the first stage, when I'm getting plasticine out of this bucket, to protect my hands from really warm water. So this little bit's already ready, and we're building. I like to create with no gloves, because you feel it better. So we're making, first stage, we're making a plinth.
9 by 9 by 1 centimeter. So you see, when it's really hot, it's very easy, and it's really getting into the shape which we want from it quickly, without any effort. We need this angle to get mold with no problem, to get it out of our new mold with no problem later on. It looks very simple, but it always takes time to build anything in this life. And to get a sense of perfection, because we want this sense of perfection, we want this sense of maximum what you can do or build. When plasticine is warm, you work with it as with clay. It's really soft. And again, you don't need to warm it up in your hands because it takes time. You are using just boiled water. With no rush, we're building this thickness. As I said, each stage must be perfect. Not because you can't go back, just because you want this absolutely finished product at each stage. So we're forming a perfect shape, a perfect plinth, perfect bed for this flower. prefer not to do sketches for sculpture, but each person works differently, and probably you would love to draw a little bit before you will move on this plinth to create a flower. So you see, I'm creating these specific angles to help us to take mold out of this relief, because if we are not having these angles and it's just straight, it will be almost impossible to take it out of our mold. So to help ourselves, we're creating this slight angle. We are with Liv Shepherd in her studio, and we want to ask again a few questions. This time about composition, about the depth, about different kinds of reliefs. So could you tell us and guide us through these composition issues?
So composition.
Oh, shall I pick up this piece?
Yes,
which we
that's
showed.
probably that shows better than this one.
Okay.
Okay. Composition. So this piece is a good example of composition. You can see how the three women are sat. Originally this was worked on from life, so I had three models, and you can see the depth very much in this piece.
Almost three-dimensional.
It's almost three-dimensional, but not quite. Not quite.
Still
so there's
a relief,
twisting and
yeah.
distortions.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, the sign of a relief, and a good relief. It doesn't look too twisted and too distorted from the side. So the whole composition of this piece was made up. Well, it was inspired by the sort of fungus that you get in nature. That's sort of like on a wooden. You might have seen
some
like,
traces.
yeah. So you kind of get like, you know, sort of old, really old wood that you get this sort of fungus that kind of that goes in the lines in the grain. So this was kind of a thought on that. So hence the white and the dark as well.
So they're growing as mushrooms.
Kind of.
Okay.
Out of the wood. And yeah,
out
kind
of nature maybe.
Out of nature. And yeah, this piece is called Female Intuition, so it's, yeah. And so the composition for the whole piece is designed to draw your eye into there. So you see that the bulk of this piece is set off centre.
Yeah.
And this is designed almost like an arrow to lead your eye in, and this side to lead your eye in. So that basically.
Yeah, I can see an arrow by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're drawn. So your eye's drawn into the not the centre, but the centre of activity, but they're not the centre of the piece. And also as well, the wood was cut to echo this line. So you've got this more straighter kind of line that goes down here, again straight, and then you've got this sort of diagonal that goes across here. And again, if you see the full piece of the wood, it's a diagonal sort of in nature. And I find that particularly with bas reliefs, any sculpture really, but particularly with bas reliefs, if you echo or mimic a form over and over again, it can enhance the piece, and what you're doing is you're guiding the viewer's eye to the thing that you want them to see. But also as well, this is creating a larger expanse of space. So it's a much bigger piece. It's almost like making a canvas. These works. It's like being a painter, because you are thinking more about composition than potentially a piece of sculpture. You're thinking about flat space rather than three-dimensional space.
And what about this number 3? Is it again a repetition, or you want to say something?
It's Primarily, it's a combination, really. It's repetition because it's leading you back, and repetition again can enhance and make something more powerful. It was kind of originally based on the three witches. When shall we three meet again, from Shakespeare?
Or Trinity?
The Trinity.
Yeah.
And this piece was part of a bigger collection, all about sort of female issues and ancestry and all this sort of stuff. So this was quite relevant. But to echo the form as well, the bald heads, the echo the form of the naked women.
Very naked when they're bald.
Yeah, very.
I like to use needle when I create my sculptures, and this time we definitely need one to get this outline, orchid outline. We're almost making a drawing. On this piece of plasticine. As soon as we finish with our outline, we start putting layers to get a shape. Not just the drawing, to get a physical shape of our flower. I don't like to use gloves because it's more like making jewelry, and also you don't want an extra layer between you and your sculpture. We're almost copying, but also using our imagination, our own taste for things, how we want all these curves and how we want all this shape to sit on our plinth. We're paying attention that they all have different depth, and we're playing with depth most only during making our relief.
The relief is one of the most ancient forms of art in the world. Over time, it has been so commonplace in daily life that we may have overlooked it. For example, in coinage, a high relief is employed. Normally a portrait of a head of state will be sculpted on one side and a symbolic figure on the other. The relief was widely used in ancient Egypt, and the most distinctive type is called the sunken relief. The image is made by cutting the relief sculpture into a flat surface. This is a relatively straightforward way of carving images and texts, which in the case of the Egyptians are hieroglyphs. The ancient Egyptians also used this technique to make seals for official purposes. The sunken relief was also used in monumental art. Take this adoration scene of Aten, for instance. The lines of the rays of the sun and the limbs of the pharaoh were remarkably carved, as if there were a holy connection between the human pharaoh god and the sun god Aten. There is an intriguing turning point in the popularization of the sunken relief. It was after Akhenaten's reign that it became more widespread and dominant. In history, the pharaoh Akhenaten is a famous religious reformer. He changed the worship of the sun god Aten and abandoned the worship of the king of all gods, Amon. It is possible that there is a strong connection between the particular form of the sunken relief employed at the time and such a significant social and religious shift. Unlike the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Greeks preferred the high relief, creating the mass almost from out of the background. This must have had something to do with their ideal of art. While the Egyptians were interested in a decorative and formatted way of sculpting images, the ancient Greeks were more interested in a representationalist approach to sculpture. The piece here was taken from the most significant temple in ancient Athens, the Parthenon, and is now in the British Museum collection. It captures a dramatic moment, with two figures fighting each other. The figures were carved in naturalistic proportions, and their musculature reflects the athletic spirit of the Athenian people.
To get a perfect shape, it always takes time. You can't. Each piece dictates its own time. You can think it will take half an hour or 2 hours. In fact, it will take how much it needs. With practice, which gives you perfection, you will be doing it quicker and quicker and quicker. With a plane for our flower, we create these angles, and here in the actual flower we are doing the same to make it easier for us to take off the mold, because if it will be shape getting in when we will be taking our mold, we can't take it off because plaster will go under the flower and ruin it. But if we think in advance about these little things, we will create a shape which will be easy to mold. We don't want it's boring, so we need to focus to give different shapes and different heights, so they're all not at the same level. Why? Because it's more interesting when you look at it when they're all different.
In the next session, we will learn how to take a simple mold. We will make it, we will fill it with clay, and we will get our first solid product, which you can fire after that and enjoy on your wall.